We are now live. What's up, YouTube? It's the first of the month. Yeah, I wanted to do that. But anyway, it's your boy Tenzin, 1/3 of the SOS podcast. And yeah, man, let's fucking get into it, man. I'm currently waiting on my 3 tracks for my summer EP to get mastered. It's crazy. I talked to, because one of the producers on the album is actually a colleague of mine. So when I spoke to him about it, he was like, "Oh man, did you need me to send you the track out?" I was like, "Shit, I didn't think of that." Oh well, I'll think about that next time. So yeah, next time. But that's life, right? Live and learn, trial and error. So I was like, damn, like I just never thought of that. So that's why people be wanting track outs. Is for the mastering process. Not so. Yeah. See, I used to order track out stuff and not know I'm using it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, oh well, this actually sounds good, just mixed. But now I get it. It's for the masters. But I mean, I think it should still come out fine. Like 2-track master. Yes, I think it should still come out fine. It'll still be the best quality of music that I've ever released myself. But yeah, man, I love the fact that my releases are just getting better and better each time. You know, um, hey, as Childish Gambino said, if you rapping you money, you silly. This shit ain't a milli. Yeah, this really is like a labor of love. I mean, obviously, I hope, you know, for my music to get recognized and all that, but still got to work on the image, man. This shit takes time. But yeah, man, I just want to say I am so excited for Solstice Volume 2. It's got a little theme to it, man. I got a human to make the cover art, as I said last week. So yeah, man, it's gonna be quite different, quite different indeed. Also, man, the performance from the 26th that actually got postponed. So I believe it's gonna be July 10th. So yeah, fingers crossed, because I'll be giving the audience a little taste of Solstice Volume 2. And that intro track, I definitely went in on that. All the tracks are good. Like I said, I mean, only one of the tracks technically has a hook to it, but even that's not like the traditional hook. So that's like my only issue. Well, my only worry about how this will be received, because but like I said, I'm proud of the tracks, anywho. So I can't wait for my peoples to hear it. Um, I sent some tracks to some friends, and they were like, yeah, this is definitely it. I had one homegirl. She said she had to stop her car to text me how hard the shit went. So, yeah, man, I can't wait for y'all to hear that. But let's get into it, man. So, first up on the agenda, SCOTUS decisions. First and foremost, the good news is the 14th Amendment still stands. Hallelujah. Okay, and it's so crazy to me. Like, first and foremost, the fact that that shit was not a unanimous decision. I mean, this is some scary times. Hold on, let me see. Hold on. Let me look this up, because yeah, I think it was like 6-3 or something like that, which is crazy work, because what the fuck, like, who in their right mind is going to vote against something like that? And if you don't know what the 14th Amendment is, it's basically birthright citizenship. So earlier in his term, Trump tried Trump tried to do an executive order to get rid of birthright citizenship, which basically means if you're born in the U.S., that means you're a citizen. All right, and which is like, yeah, that makes fucking sense. But a lot of times you got these, like, let's face it, these racist hokies who fearmonger about people coming to the US just to drop an anchor baby, which, yeah, that is a strategy. But it's like, well, shit, if they made it, they made it. Fuck it. you know? But yeah, no, so basically they're like, that's like the little boogeyman that they try to use to, I guess, be in favor of it. But it's just like what these dumb fucks don't do is they don't ever try to think in the long run because, well, okay, so what'll make you a citizen then? If not just being born here, then what qualifies you as a citizen? Okay, it was a 6-3 vote. I wonder who the three dissenters were. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, like what if, like, if you were to, oh my God, okay, Samuel Alito, Neil Gorsuch, and Clarence Thomas were the ones who voted against birthright citizenship. Man, Clarence, I don't get you, Clarence. I don't get you. Those people, I don't, I don't know if you heard this or not, Clarence, but they hate you too. But anyway, yeah, it's like they don't ever think deep enough. Like, so you get rid of birthright citizenship, then how do you objectively determine who's a U.S. citizen? Is there a test you got to take? Is there like certain actions you got to do? Like what? Like conscription? I think that's the word. That's getting drafted. I hope I used the correct word. I be misusing like SAT words, but I be using them though. But I misuse them. But they're still being used. But yeah, it's just, so. What do you like? How do you determine who a citizen is then? Um, Now I believe, which that's crazy that something like this could be in the Supreme Court. But yeah, I guess the Supreme Court also upheld that you could, I mean, that I guess like trans people aren't to play sports with the gender they identify with. Hold on, let me see. I don't know. I'm googling on the fly, y'all. That's what we do. That's how we learn. All right. Let me see. Athletes. Yeah, trans athletes. I was about to just say trans sports. And the 6-3 decision upholding state bans on transgender women and girls competing in girls and women's sports in the case of, oh, so they really just specified it to just women and girls. Okay, I thought it would just be, trans people in general, but it's, I guess it's women and girls. So I guess if you're a trans man, I guess you can still, play with men. Um, but yeah, I didn't know it was that specified. Now, me personally, oh shit, B saying the link's not working, even though I typed it in. Hold on, guys. How do I? How does it not work if I typed it in exactly? Hold on, people. But anyway, my stance on trans sports is, listen, I'm not as well versed in the science, but I know that estrogen weakens people. And honestly, my personal stance is I just go by the league, whatever that certain league says. Like I think the NCAA, I think they say you got to be on HRT for like at least 2 years before you start competing with the gender you identify with. Um, Other leagues are kind of similar. You just have to be on the hormone replacement therapy for a bit. But I don't know. It's like only because it's like it's just so rare that you see like trans people just beating records. Like the one that they paraded around on the news a lot. What's her name? Leah Thomas. Like they were mad at her for getting 5th place. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. They're trying to say she broke some sort of record, but I don't follow swimming like that. But neither do the dumb fuck, Republicans who and it's not just Republicans. Just, well, just anti-trans motherfuckers who like got her name in their mouth. I mean, like I said, I don't follow swimming. She may have broken some sort of record in the women's division, but the main race that they always cite is the one that she got fifth place in. So I'm just like, okay, like four other cis women beat her. So clearly, like, they're not the alpha and the omega as you think they are. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm still kind of on the fence because, like I said, I guess it just depends. Like, how long? I mean, because apparently, according to this ruling, I mean, they ain't say shit about trans men. So it's like, okay, so you're cool with a trans man, like, so you're cool with a trans man saying, "Oh yeah, I just transitioned a week ago. Let me box with guys." Yeah, so you're cool with them just getting their heads knocked the fuck off, like, which I don't think any, you know, licensing, any like fight licensing will let that go down anyhow. But yeah, that really blew my mind. Holy shit. Hold on, let me get B in here. Yo, B, what's happening?
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Another beautiful Wednesday night of the SOS podcast. But yeah, no, we out here. Let's see. So, brother dear, you looking forward to celebrating America's 250th birthday?
Oh yeah, I was actually just talking about the SCOTUS decisions.
Yeah,
Like I just said to the folks, the fact that the upholding birthright citizenship wasn't unanimous, that's fucking crazy. 6-3, first of
right.
all. And of course, one of the three was our
We
brother
already know. We
Clarence,
already know.
our brother who we ain't claiming, but we have no choice but to address.
AKA the white man with the darkest tan. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, that's the brother that you hate, but like got all the money, so he has to come to the family events. You're like, God, this nigga,
fuck that. He ain't got to come to shit with me. I don't claim that nigga. Well, for real, he don't claim us.
I
For
mean, that is
like,
wild.
like he hasn't claimed us since like what, like the 80s or 90s. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like he. And the fact that he'll, with a straight face, look you in the eye and say, he's never benefited from affirmative action or none of that shit. It's like, bruh, what? First off, you replaced uh Thurgood Marshall. That's the reason you got there, was so they could
Right,
have another black guy. Like, that was like,
right. That was clearly DEI. Like, I mean,
right.
like,
Well, so it's like, but yeah, man, you know what I mean? It's yeah, no, I have no love or respect for that dude. That dude's a clown.
yeah,
Been a clown. Shout out, all power to Anita Hill, who tried to warn people about him mad long ago,
right.
because he's a weirdo. Uh, Although I will say, growing up, that case did confuse me, like learning about that when I was younger, because I'm like, I always just wondered how she noticed it. Like, you know what I mean? The hair on the coke. I was like, I was
Um,
always so confused on how she noticed
I mean, my I never looked that deeply into it. I mean, my only knowledge of the case was like the movie they came out with.
with the Kerry Washington one.
Yeah, I watched that. I was like, oh, ain't that a bit? Like,
See,
so,
I never watched that one because, like, I knew she was in it, but like, who played him in that movie?
the thing was like, it was a while since I watched it. The movie was, as far as like depictions of the two parties, like the movie was actually pretty neutral. So, but the guy who played Thurgood Marshall, I mean, not Thurgood Marshall, um, Justice Thomas was,
Yeah.
I'm always forgetting his name, but he was on The Wire. Uh,
Oh, Bunk from The Wire.
yeah.
Okay.
He also
Wendell Pierce.
plays, which, yeah, that him. Yep. He was on Treme, wasn't he?
Yeah, which I've never seen Tremaine, but I know he's on it.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's who they got to play. So like you feel pretty so like you're kind of like you don't just hate just one side, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because they got two sympathetic, two fan favorite actors, and both sides seem, pretty sympathetic from what I remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it's crazy. Like I just learned a couple of days ago that part of the reason why we have birthright citizenship was, part of like Reconstruction.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm like, so to see a black dude, and
Well, because it
it's
was,
crazy because
particularly slaves were considered, 3/5 of a person and everything like that. So when it came time
oh
to
hey, can you start from the top? It kind of like skipped on my end.
right, I was talking about how a lot of that stuff. Now I'm probably gonna butcher some facts, but like for the most part, it started because of like we were considered 3/5 of people, and but I think this was especially with like Reconstruction. I think it was the whole issue of like I think like it was trying to determine like different like citizenship things, you know what I mean, like especially with the census and everything. And
Mm-hmm.
so like I think like they were like you know people didn't know whether they should be counted as citizens or not. So like, that's why they started birthright citizenship, because it's like, well, I mean, if you was born here, then obviously you're an American citizen.
Right. Yeah.
But of course, unfortunately, yeah, with the whole 3/5 thing, we weren't considered like full people.
People. Right.
Yeah, so we were citizens, but like not really.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and it's and it blows my mind, like to see a black person with such influence, like try to go against it, and I remember I had a friend of mine whom was a guest on this show. He I remember like when he was first talking about these new immigration policies, he had like this weird glee about the possibility of birthright citizenship going away. As just because of what I was talking about earlier, just because of the anchor baby thing.
Right.
And my thing is, it's like, well, okay, well, if they beat the system, they beat the system, I guess. The fuck? Like, I mean, like, but yeah, and that's not even thinking about
Right.
the Reconstruction thing. My thing,
Right.
so what is a citizen? Like
Right.
objectively, how would you determine
Right.
citizenship? Would
Well,
you
that
have to
was the
pass a
whole.
test? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that
Like,
was the whole issue with Reconstruction, because like there were pockets of the country who were considering classifying the now former slaves as not citizens. You know what I mean? Like they didn't want them to be citizens anymore. Cause like, well, if I can't own you, then you shouldn't be here.
right.
But then everybody was like, okay, well, that's just that's psychotic. Like there's too many. Unfortunately, we had too many slaves in the country to just export them all. Also, where was they going to go? I mean, I guess you can. Was it? I forgot what country would have been like. Was it Monrovia? I think was like, or was it Liberia? Whichever was one of those. It's like in Africa. They were supposed to be like a country for freed black slaves or whatever, but I don't, or at least that's like what it started out as. But again, you would have to hope that the Africans would want them over there. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
so. So, and then also there was also other issues. Even if you take the black thing away from it, you know, I think it was like with women. I think there was a time when women weren't considered full citizens.
Mm.
They were like deemed as like, I think, dependents of their husband. You know what I mean? So it's like,
Right. Right.
that was a whole issue too.
Yeah, and they couldn't have bank accounts and no shit like that. Yeah.
Right, right. But yeah, so but yeah, well, I mean, but I guess the point I was making was like, yeah, what you were saying. what makes you a citizen. That was like the whole issue with birthright citizenship. If you were here in this country and you were born here, like a lot of the former slaves were, how can you not say that you're a citizen? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
and that's what kills me. It's just like, okay, like you're. I mean, I didn't say all this because I didn't feel like. And plus, I wasn't thinking about it like that. But it's like, okay, yeah, you're a black person.
Right.
Ain't no telling how far the U.S. can go down your bloodline and say like, oh
Exactly.
shit, motherfucker, you ain't no goddamn. You know what I mean? So it is, yeah. So
Yeah, because like
yeah,
God
I get
forbid
it.
they decide, okay, all black people, since your parents weren't born here, even though it's crazy because most of them white people, their ancestors weren't born here either, but
Right.
whatever. You know,
I mean, they'll
let's
probably arbitrarily make it like, oh well, if
yeah,
your ancestry didn't start here in 1600 something, then
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I mean, even though we've been here since, was it 1619, but whatever.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, so like even let's God forsake, they say, oh, black folks, y'all's ancestors wasn't citizens here, y'all were just brought here for work or whatever. And then yeah, it's just like Thomas would be gone too. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's just like, but again, what's the same thing though? I remember there was, I don't know if it ever made it all the way to the Supreme Court, but there was a whole issue about interracial. It was like it was packaged together. I think they were trying to go after gay marriage, interracial marriage, and there was something else too.
Mm.
And people brought up the same thing with that. It's like, bro, you're married to a white chick, like.
Right.
So God forbid if that ever would have went to the Supreme Court, what was you going to do? You know what I mean? The people who you're sucking up to wanted interracial marriage gone. Like, what was you going to do?
Yeah, and it's just I, I don't know, I don't know how much they paying this nigga, like because
Millions. I mean, remember because it got leaked that crazy conservative billionaire dude, or who was like also low key like a neo Nazi and stuff. They said, yeah, was it? It got revealed years ago that he was, sending him all types of expensive gifts and taking him on vacation and stuff like that. You don't remember that?
yeah, I heard about the vacations and stuff, but I thought it was his wife getting in trouble for that.
No, it was a billionaire dude connected to him personally. Like there's pictures of him at that
Okay.
dude's hunting trips and all types of stuff.
Yeah, 'cause I remember they were going after Thomas's wife for similar things like that,
Yeah,
like accepting gifts from folks and all that shit.
yeah,
But okay, yeah. So he was, of course, obviously he'd be involved too. Like, I
right,
mean, ain't no way your spouse is gonna be doing all that. You don't know.
right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, but like I said, the fact that it wasn't unanimous is a shame. But you know what? We got to take our W's
Right.
because it at least lets us know that our nation is not totally
Right.
fucking insane.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, though, it was packaged with a couple of other decisions that weren't great. I mean, you got the whole thing about how Trump can essentially just fire random it's federal employees at will, essentially, and replace, or it's like I forgot what type of committees these were, but they were always considered to be like independent type committees.
Mhm.
So like essentially like unless it was because of misconduct or low or I think it was either misconduct or fraud, they couldn't get you can't just fire him without like an actual inquiry. Well, I guess they said one of the decisions was that like he can do it, but they ruled separately on one of those people. It was a black lady. I forgot. It was something with the Fed, I think. Something with the Federal Reserve, I think she worked at. And he tried to go after her. They ruled against him on that one. But in terms of like the blanket overall, he can get rid of them. I forgot which agencies or committees they were, but like essentially they ruled that he can get rid of them just because he wanted
Okay.
to.
And, and I think another decision they made was there's no more federal limits on how much a political party can spend
Oh
on
wow, okay,
candidates.
yeah, I didn't even hear about that one.
Jesus Christ. I mean, so yeah, as you said, there are some rulings that are not favorable, but I mean, at least the common sense one, you
Well,
know.
I think, and that's the thing. I think it was by design. I think the reason they voted birthright citizenship the way they did was twofold. A, because they knew even outside of the whole left versus right thing, I think they was going to get a lot of flack for that decision. So they steered away from it. And then I think also that's the bigger headline. So people are so focused on the fact that they voted in line with birthright citizenship that they missed those other rulings that are
Mm,
bad. You know what I mean? So I think that was a two-part reasonings on why they voted the way they did.
okay, yeah. I mean, I mean that does make sense because which is funny because he's supposed to be considered one of the serious commentators, but there was a post by Benny Johnson rolling around. Think one of the because he was like it was like one of the justices, I guess. Think Amy Coney Barrett. It was like, oh, this commie voted for
That's crazy.
but I was just like, who knows? Maybe they're paying him to rabble rouse, like you said, to
Right.
distract from like the not so great rulings. Because
Right.
I was looking at the transports ruling,
Yeah.
and I was reading, I was like, this, which I had to look more into it, but I was looking at the co-pilot search result. That's just, and I remember just said like, yeah, like transgender women and girls can't compete with. I'm like, hold on, bro. Did they just specifically say just women and girls? Because if so, they're like, 'cause I thought it was like a general trans
Right.
ban. But I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, it wouldn't make sense if it wasn't. Because
Yeah, I mean, it's probably going to go after trans men, but for real, they don't really care too much about trans
oh
men. I've noticed they only really
yeah,
care
nah,
about trans women, and like because that's the bigger headline. Because
right,
I mean, throughout America's history, all anybody really has to do in order to get away with something crazy like a lynch mob or something is say that somebody's wife or daughter was under attack. You know what I mean?
right, yeah,
Even though this is a country that has historically discriminated against women in general, we have terrible rates of sexual assault and all types of other stuff. You know what I mean? These people will grab up their pitchforks talking about the women and girls is in danger. They're so worried about some guy getting a reassignment surgery and becoming a girl and beating their daughter in softball, but they'll take away abortion and stuff like that.
right.
They'll promote all types of sexual offenders and everything. Like they don't care about protecting. It was like when I was in high school and everything, the whole uh women's bathroom like debate. You know what I mean? Like that was like the same thing when I was in high school. I remember hearing that, and I'm just like, bro, like y'all don't actually care. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like y'all don't really care about this. Like y'all just care about how you think it'll give you enough protection. I mean, think about it. How many lynch mobs got created back in like civil rights era or pre-civil rights era against black men because some
Oh
dude
yeah.
just screamed, "Hey, he whistled at my daughter, or he grabbed my daughter's wrist or leg, or you know what I mean?" Like so, yeah, they don't
I
act.
mean,
So, like I said, it would be a harder sell if they were using this trans issue with the whole, oh, a girl changed into a guy and beat my son in football. You can't sell that because then they'll
right.
just and this is also a uh a symptom of the patriarchy. But the first, if you heard that storyline, the first thing dudes would be like, they'd be laughing at that dude's son for
Mm-hmm.
losing to what they assume is a girl. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so
And and I remember this was like years ago. I always made this joke like, dang, Texas hurt themselves in confusion. So I think the state of Texas, they've been like kind of had like, hey, if you're gonna play sports with the assigned gender at birth.
uh-huh.
So there was like a high schooler who was transitioning to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
But, because of that law, he had to wrestle girls. And
Right.
guess what?
He
He
was
was whooping
flipping.
their ass
Yeah.
because he's on testosterone.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's like, see, like you made it unfair. Like, and look, like me personally, like I'm not as well versed in like, you know, bio like sex science or whatever, but
Right.
like I mean, I'm gonna defer to what experts say. But me personally, when it comes to trans people in sports, as I said prior, I don't know. What does that specific league say? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like the NCAA, like they just say, "Hey, you got to be on hormone replacement therapy for like a
Right.
couple years. And we'll see about it." And
Right.
that's like most leagues for the most part that do allow trans athletes. So I'm like, okay,
And to
but
me, I
is
think
he
it
gonna
also depends on the sport too. That's always been my thing. Like for instance,
right?
I remember, was it during the Olympics when somebody when that story came out about the dude? Well, no, she became a girl, but like it was like a weightlifter, and like she was like, I mean, I hate to be me, but she clearly had the body of a man. Like, I
Right.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
she was huge. You know what I'm saying? Now in that case, I'm gonna be for real. I'll want to. I hate to agree with the MAGA hat people, but like that was kind of crazy. Like I mean,
I mean,
like that
yeah.
was that like so in that case, I can understand if somebody was, especially if you was one of them girls. I would understand being mad. You know what I'm saying? Like but when it came to like the swimming thing, granted, I
Oh.
never did competitive swimming, so I can't say,
Mhm.
you know, I can't say being a man would like factor into winning or not. But the swimming thing was always crazy. What's her name? The
Leah
chick?
Thomas. Yeah. I
No, that
thought
was
something
that was
too.
the actual trans person. Who was the one who did all that crying? And because they're famous now.
Oh, Riley Gaines.
Riley Gaines. That one was crazy because the transgender chick came in like fourth,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
yeah, Riley Gaines was like sixth or seventh.
I
It was
think they
like
tied, but still, yeah. But
they
it's like,
tied. I thought the trans chick like actually beat her because I thought that's why she
oh
was
no, I
crying.
think yeah, they tied for fifth, I believe. But yeah,
Okay,
that's what I was saying too. It's just like they mad at her for getting fifth place. Like,
right.
damn,
You
like
know what I'm
four
saying?
cis women beat her. So what's
Because
the
like
point?
I
Like,
remember there was a story back when I was in college that to me, if you were gonna use it as a tentpole issue, they should have used that. When I was in college, there was a story about this transgender girl running track, and she smoked the top three chicks. It was like I think it was a black transgender chick, and then there was like another black chick and two white chicks who was like the ones filing the lawsuit and stuff like that.
hmm.
And so I mean it. This story
Did
got
it
like
did it say how long she was on replacement therapies, or
I
if
mean,
she
this
took
was back
replacement
in
therapy?
college, so I did. Like I said,
Oh,
this
okay.
story got lost to time. Well, I guess my point was like, if you were gonna use a tentpole issue, I feel like that would have been the better story than like, because them chicks was literally, I think, if I'm remembering the story correctly, I think they was literally 1, 2, and 3, and then the chick came up and like boomed them at the last leg. So it was kind of just like, you know, I that would be a better selling story than tying for fifth. Like I never
Look,
got. Well, I mean, I guess I get it in terms of like conservatives will support
mhm.
anybody, but like
Yeah.
the fact that everybody made this big rally and cry for a chick who was tied for fifth was crazy. Like I was like the
I
whole time
mean, they're the party of
because I
participation
remember
trophy.
I didn't care too much about that story. I'm gonna be honest. And so I just assumed she fell at second place and it was like 1 and 2. It took me years to realize she tied for fifth. I was like, what? And now this girl is like a millionaire speaking at Turning Point USA events and stuff. And I'm just like, this is crazy.
You know, and the thing too is like you know, because you said like that the example you had, like you said she kind of just like came from behind and kind of like got the
That's what
upset.
I remember. The only so like I remember I had to do like an assignment for this when I was in school. So that's the only reason why I kind of remember this story. And so from what I remember hearing, it was like that where like, yeah, she like they was running in the track meet and then or was it cross country? I can't remember. It was they was running, period. I don't know. Anyway, they said that the chick, they was running and them three got beat out by the girl. Now I don't know if it was in the last leg or if they just couldn't catch her at all. But like to me, that don't really matter because regardless, at the end of the day, like she still beat them. But like,
Yeah,
you know, like I said, I think it was kind of whack that they did all that crime, period. But like if I was gonna pick a story to rally behind, I'd rally behind that more than the chick who tied
yeah,
for fifth.
because I was gonna just say like a point that I usually would bring up too is like like stories like that, or Fallon Fox, yeah, like that's the MMA fighter that they like to bring up a lot because she broke a chick's skull. But I would say too, it's like you can also find like plenty of examples of cis women doing the same thing,
Right,
like trailing up from behind to get the upset win in the track meet, breaking a bitch skull. Like Chris Cyborg, she's all woman.
right,
Yeah, she broke plenty skulls. Like
right.
it's a fight.
Well, I guess
Like,
see,
gonna get
see,
fucked
that's
up.
when it comes down to the science part because like that's when you would have to like really figure out
Mhm.
scientifically did them used to being a male play an advantage, and that's the thing. Me as somebody who is not a biologist, I can't say one way or the other. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna
Yeah,
weigh in on that. But like,
right. And my thing is too, like in sports, like, cause I did sports, you
right.
did sports, like like you're always gonna be facing somebody that has some sort of genetic advantage over you,
Oh, for
whether
sure.
they're just
When I
naturally
played
stronger than
volleyball
you,
in middle
yeah,
school,
or they
boy,
taller than you.
when I
Like,
played volleyball in middle school, I remember one time we went up against this school. I mean, there's no way except in the seventh grade you should be dang near 6 feet tall, bro. That was crazy.
God damn.
They was looking down at us, and I swear to God, one dude spiked that ball dead in my chest, and I almost died.
Mm.
I was like,
Bro, what was that baseball movie, bro? Like that grown ass man like gave the referee a note and
oh,
like
the bench
$100.
warmers. He said,
Yeah, he's
"I'm
like,
12."
yeah. I think that's
Oh
what went down.
man,
But no, actually though, yo, it's weird like how some kids just develop a little quicker. When I was in middle school, there was a kid on my team named Jabari. He looked like we were. I think he was in eighth grade. Yeah, like he was an eighth grader. But yeah, he looked just like a damn grown man. Like you know what I mean. So
yeah.
it was nuts. But he was in eighth grade. Like
No,
he was actually 14.
there was a kid on my little brother's flag football team, and I remember, because I was in school at the time, but I remember I came back. I would come back, like every other weekend, and sometimes I'd go to the games, and I thought this kid was like an assistant coach, like because he looked young, but he didn't look like old.
Right.
He had a
Yeah.
beard and stuff, and here he was one of the players with my little brother. He was like 12, and I'm like, "Yo, what? Like this is crazy,
Dang, he's developing like Joseph from King of the Hill.
bruh." I'm saying, bro, you never know. You never know,
Right.
but like,
So but yeah, like so being in wrestling, like yeah, I've faced people with longer arms, so like they could constrict me. Like
Yeah.
I faced folks who were shorter than me, so they were lower to the ground, so they can like get the ankle picks really good.
Hmm.
But I had an advantage, me being tall and having long legs. Like I could
Right.
constrict people. I could stall out a little more. Like if I sprawled on you, then you're most likely not going to take me down because.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know, but it just obviously it gets wonky, when it comes to like the trans stuff, just
Right.
because it's big and scary.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's I said it is. It is what it is. But you do feel bad for the athletes though, because it's like if they do genuinely feel what they say they feel inside, it's like what they supposed to do. You know what I mean? You
Right.
can't play in your own gendered league, and you can't play in the other's gender league. So then it's just like, what they supposed to have their own league. Okay, there's three of them, like in the
Yeah.
whole county. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what they supposed to do. Like, so yeah, it's rough. I mean, in other governmental craziness, America, the Great American State Fair apparently is an absolute disaster. Apparently, it's
God
whack.
damn.
Yeah, apparently it's whack. All the booze they say look like essentially seventh grade science fair booze. There's like no performers. There's
It's
like
called
10
the
people
Great
there.
American State Fair.
Yeah, I think it was like the Great American State Fair. It's in DC. They said everything is real cheap. They said the food is not even state fair food. It's like, they apparently it's just whack all over. Like, and
Oh damn.
now,
Well, they got till July 10th. Let's see. Hold
yeah,
on.
apparently it's just terrible. Also, people said that I think like six, I'm not sure. I think there were 6 states that didn't send money for their booze, but like,
Mm.
meaning all the other states did, which is crazy though, because they said all the booze are mad cheap, whether it's the states that didn't pay or the states that did. So it's kind of just like, and so what everybody's saying is like, okay, what did the government do with that money that the state sent? Because everything looks whack and cheap up there.
Yeah, I'm looking at a photo. Yeah, the crowd looks very sparse.
Mm-hmm. Of course, Trump
Uh,
was talking about there was mad people up there and everybody was there and all this other stuff. It was like, typical Trump stuff. You got to lie about the crowd and everything. But
yeah, there's a tweet by a man named Bob Phillips. He says, "Pick any Buc-ee's in the country, anytime, day or night. There are more people there than at this mess." I was like, "God damn,
that's
boy."
crazy. And they say, the craziest thing was, and I've seen a lot of people talk about it. There was an event planned for the 250th that was started by I can't, I think it was the Parks Department. I'm not sure though. Anyway, the group was called America 250. Apparently, this was started 10 years ago, and I think it was like kind of a governmental thing ish, but like they had a whole bunch of events planned. They was going to have a really big thing planned with like national recognized headline musicians performing and stuff like that. And then apparently like Trump like backdoored them and started his Freedom 250 committee and like, ruined it. And we get
So
this.
that's why they dropped out.
Uh, I mean, yeah, like so from because I remember hearing about the America 250 thing, but I was under the impression that both things were happening. But the way I've been hearing about it recently is that he took the funding from America 250 supposedly for Freedom 250. And so, and what if he did do that, brings me back to my original question: where did all that money go? Because it don't look like that it went to this thing. You know what I mean? Even with the whole issue of the musicians, like I know they all dropped out by this point, but even when that lineup was still up before they all dropped out, it was nobody really relevant on there. Like you had Vanilla Ice, CNC Music
Ugh.
Factory, Millie
Well,
Vanilli,
well, hold on.
uh
Isn't
Morris Day
50
and the
Cent
Time.
and well, I just saw a headline saying 50 Cent, Ja Rule, and some other niggas supposed to be performing for that shit too, right? Or
They wasn't on the original lineup. Now, again, like I said, see, this is why I thought the America 250 thing was still happening, because a lot of the artists who said that they got contacted to be a part of that original show before they dropped out, they claimed that the group that was reaching out to them was pretending to be America 250. That's why they all
oh,
signed up. And then they said that they backed out because they found out it was Freedom 250 and that it was Trump's thing or whatever. But again, like I said, even before that whole debacle, he
hmm.
had nobody from this century essentially on and like oh
Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Oh Lord, yeah, Vanilla Ice Flow Rider, damn it, Brett Michaels. Oof. Mm. Damn, disappointed in Flow Rider, man. Jesus Christ, like,
Flow Rider to me is one of them rappers, bro. He gonna get a bag, bro. Like that's
yeah.
like I think like that's one of them things. That's one of them things like I've always kind of known, where it's just like he finna get a bag regardless. Like so, like
Apple bottom jeans.
boots with the fur. I mean, there was a couple of them on there though, where like, and I think this is where a lot of the whole backlash, like I think a lot of those artists who was getting the backlash didn't realize, if you were just honest upfront to the public and just be like, yo, they called me, I needed money, I'm doing the concert. Cool. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But then like some of them was making, like before they eventually dropped out, was making like these weird excuses and talking themselves in circles and stuff. And
Oh,
everyone's
well,
like,
actually,
bruh.
oh, Brett Michaels called it off. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Now I'm on USA Today. It's like here's a list. Here's a list who is called off. Morris Day, Young
Oh yeah,
MC.
no, the whole thing got canceled. Everybody called off.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Everybody called off. Like Vanilla Ice, I think was the last holdout, and then I think he like dropped out.
I mean,
Cause
how many
cause
songs
I
does he
mean,
have? Bro?
also Vanilla Ice can't do a whole concert by himself. Like that's,
Yeah,
that's
he only got
literally
one
it.
hit song.
Yeah, or I guess two if you count Go Ninja Go, but like that's it.
Oh, okay.
like what like he can't hold a whole concert by himself. So I think that's why they
Yeah.
was just like, yeah, bro, it's up. Like it is what it is.
Damn, that's
Now,
tragic.
okay, so apparently though, okay, so I think the America 250 thing is still happening.
Okay.
Okay, because I'm seeing a thing. I just had to go look because I don't want to like give like misinformation. They got this thing called like America's Block Party, and yeah, they got like a thing in Boston, a thing in Charleston, South Carolina. They got a thing in Philly, a thing in Fort Worth, Kentucky, and a thing in Milwaukee.
Kentucky got a Fort Worth.
I mean, no, I'm tripping. Why did I say Fort Worth? Fort Campbell.
Oh, okay. I
I don't
mean,
know
oh,
why I said Fort Worth. That's crazy. And so yeah, I'm looking at like the lineups on a couple of these things. Like for instance, in Philly, it's supposed to be Christy. Oh, now Christina Aguilera could come back to Pennsylvania. Christina. This for those who don't know, Christina Aguilera is from Pittsburgh, but she'll never tell anybody. Well, technically
uh,
outside of Pittsburgh. She's from Wexford.
dang.
Wexford people be trying to claim Pittsburgh. Y'all not from here, but like
She be. Oh no, she don't want to claim Steel City.
nah, so I guess she going to the Philadelphia thing. So I guess it's her, Will Smith, DJ Jazzy Jeff, Jill Scott, Meek Mill, The Roots, Seal, State Property. What?
Whoa.
That's crazy.
Get down or lay down.
Yeah. Nah, bro, that's crazy. Dang, that concert's actually gonna be
Dang.
pretty dope.
I
But
can imagine. Yeah, free state
yeah.
property behind me. you know,
Run it, run
dang,
it.
that's what's up. Okay, well, thank goodness for America 250 to still,
Yeah,
thank
for
goodness for
real. Like
America
at least there's
250
still
to,
yeah, because it was
yeah.
supposed to be a bipartisan thing. Like that's the whole thing. And then like so
Okay, yeah,
yeah,
but of course,
I guess
Trump
there's
wants to
been
make
a
it
lot of misinformation floating around because yeah, I was hearing that he stole their funding altogether, but like apparently he just created a thing and that's why like a lot of people got confused because they were saying there was Freedom 250 and America 250, but apparently yeah, America 250 was formed like 10 years ago. But no, that's cool. You know what I mean? So at least they're still up. At least we have some semblance of everything. But and I was just talking about this with somebody else. I think the most unfortunate thing about the last year or so has been for real. I don't think there's anybody for real in the country who has the emotional like drive to celebrate America 250, like the 250th of America. Like low key, so many people are fatigued and angry at the government.
Mhm.
I haven't heard anybody even be hyped about it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
like I barely heard any 4th of July hype at my job. Like it's nuts.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, usually, people would just be hyped about the holiday in general. And I've been seeing for the past like let's say about like 3 or 4 months, I've been seeing ads on TV like trying to make a big deal about the 250th. But for the most part, I just think a lot of people is fatigued and over it. Like I don't think anybody really is hype about America turning 250. And to me, that's sad. You know what I mean? It's sad that the person who's supposed to be the representative of our country has demoralized the country so much that for real most people don't even care about this milestone. Like they like it's not a thing that's really on the top of people's priority or mindset. And that's crazy.
Right. And and another funny thing too, like we were expecting, and it could be different in the other hosting states, but yeah, we were expecting like shit to just be hectic,
Yeah.
during FIFA. It's kind of business as usual, our commutes. Like, I was over there thinking, like, all right, as soon as I hit downtown, I'm gonna do some bullshit. But
Yeah.
nah, like, I mean, even the people who say they take the train, like, they say, oh, no, it's cool. like,
Okay.
but, like, I was told, like, hotel, like hotel rooms were, their sales were like unexpectedly low.
Yeah.
Ticket sales are unexpectedly low. So it's just like, so yeah, so ain't nobody
That's
trying to
crazy
come over
because
here either.
the way TikTok was making it seem like it seemed like there was a whole bunch of people everywhere.
I mean, it's still a lot of folks. Don't get it twisted. It's still a lot of folks. Like I've been
Yeah.
to a fan fest, and on the 19th, and it was pretty straight. But I'm just saying, like, niggas was expecting to just be like crazy, like just
Right.
it's like holy shit, like I can't do anything in the city. This city is shut the fuck down.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
we're just like, nah, just it's like a typical. I mean, it's like a typical like work day, except you do see like the little celebrations and stuff.
Yeah.
And like some venues they have like the big projector playing the game, but yeah, other than that, you're just we cool in the game.
Wow. Okay. That's crazy. But hey, but I'll at least enjoy the day off regardless of what happened.
Yeah,
It is what it is. Uh but I think that's a decent place to stop. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Uh, it's been another dope episode of the SOS podcast. Thank y'all for joining us. As always, please go check out our sister's podcast, Raw Recovery. Go check out the What They Want podcast, on their page on Fridays. And just want to tell everybody it's hot all over. Please stay safe. If your city has cooling centers and you either need them or know family members that need them, please take advantage of that. Please drink water. It's
Yes.
unfortunately because we have ravaged this planet so long. It's hot. It's gonna be hot for a little while. You know what I'm saying? Like apparently they said that this winter coming up is gonna be relatively warm, which is not a
Oh
good thing.
shit.
You know what I'm
No,
saying?
no, it's
So
not.
hey, but yeah, stay safe, be cool on the fourth, you know, celebrate responsibly. Please don't blow yourselves up with no fireworks. You know what I'm saying?
Please don't.
Also, if y'all got them, maybe try not to blow them up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Have we
Oh
tried
yeah.
that? Put the lighters down.
Also, also remind Terry to put it in reverse.
Put it in reverse, Terry. I said, you know what little Kim said? Put your lighters up. Well, we're gonna put ours down. Put your lighters down. All right. Anyway, hey, we love y'all though. Stay safe, family. We out.